And this is the breaking news at noontime today. The president sees a major push for forced stimulus out the door, and that push is coming from Democrats. I'll explain how the push needs to happen now rather than later, as the economy is still not rebounded. But a series of new economic data released yesterday and new comments released today, Saturday, suggest that the boom may already be underway. If there's a booming economy, will people still give you stimulus checks? I'll analyze all those details and more. Meantime, we'll look back at why the president made such a big push this week with cabinet member after cabinet member to push for forced stimulus. And will it work or will it backfire? I have all the detail and analysis as we go into a big day and a big morning. Meantime, at the Masters, Justin Rose is on fire with a commanding lead currently, 2 strokes under today through the second. He is now 9 under with a 3-stroke lead over the field. He remains in first with a 65 first round and a 72 second round. I have all the big details as Noontime LA gets underway right from Los Angeles, starting right now. Hey everybody, it's Noontime LA. And boy, Wall Street had a confusing week of data across the board. As economic data seemed to conflict day to day, hour to hour, I'm going to break it down for you on this easy breezy, lighthearted noontime broadcast. How are you? It's Saturday midday, at least here in Los Angeles. It's just after what? Oh, it's about 12 o'clock. It's 12:01, 3 o'clock on the East Coast, and boy, the action at Augusta for the Masters is on fire, with Justin Rose holding a commanding lead on the field. 3 strokes currently. Boy, I'll have the live breaking details for you late in this recording, but let's get right to your $1,400 third stimulus check. The push, $1,400 third stimulus checks landed this week, and away we go into forced stimulus. Forced stimulus, monthly stimulus checks until December. For everyone who qualified for a third stimulus check, this is you. This is your big payday. You know, over the last year, this channel has detailed a lot of stimulus, and some of the items have been $2,000, $3,000. There was that EIDL grant that was $4,000, $5,000. There was one was supposed to be $10,000. No one has ever seen a stimulus item like this one. It's huge. It's the forced stimulus, and it's a monthly stimulus check paid from the time the bill becomes law to December. And it's for you. It's insanely delicious. It's more delicious than $12 ice cream and doesn't cost $12 to get it. It's free. If you're an American citizen, if you make less than $75,000, this is you. If you make less than $150,000 as a married couple, this is you. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits or veterans benefits, this is you. And if you're a household of 4 or less, this is you. Adult dependents, same amount. Children, same amount. The only thing we don't know is how much they want to give you per month. We know how, where, when, the manner in which they want to do it. On Mornings LA, I went through in 2 videos. First, the push to get it done, and then the second one was the nuance of how procedurally it takes. And you saw it takes about 2 months to get it done. And I see a full live chat going on. How are you? Everyone's in there. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Across the day, we're having a lot of fun. There's a full programming block all weekend long, and I don't want you to miss a single video. Also, like this video. Let's see if we can do 2,000, 3,000 likes. If you're not become a member, consider becoming a member, as one just did. There is Regina DeWin. Thank you for becoming a Purple Hawk. Everyone, welcome Regina. It was like perfect timing. Away we go. We started this weekend with the surprising details about a current, not a pending, not a looming, but a current economic boom. This economy isn't coming back, it's back, says Tom Gimbel. Incredible. Tom Gimbel says the economy is currently booming. I'll tell you, that's Gimbel talking, I'll tell you, this is the most optimistic market I've ever seen. He's not saying it's going to be good, he's saying it is currently good. And then he talked about those comments by Jamie Dimon, head of JP Morgan Chase. I'll recap Dimon's comments in a second. They said Jamie Dimon's right. This economy is going to be on steroids for the rest of the year. He also said that the economy is going to be on steroids next year. Jamie Dimon talked about how strong this economy was earlier this week. And Dimon, who is the head of JP Morgan Chase, said this: I have little doubt that with excess savings, new stimulus savings, which is third stimulus, the $48 stimulus check, huge deficit spending, more Q&E, and a new potential infrastructure bill, that's fourth stimulus, what we're talking about in this video, a successful vaccine and euphoria around the end of the pandemic, the U.S. economy will likely boom. This boom will run into 2023 because of all the spending. Notice he says 2023, he doesn't say 2022. Wow. And that was before this. On Friday, this data was released from CDC. It showed that 20% of the United States is fully vaccinated, and 34% of the U.S. Population is now one dose vaccinated. Wow. So who gets this stimulus? If you make less than $75,000, you. Household four or less, you. SSI SSDI, you. How much money are we talking about here? You're talking about a lot of moolah. Ignore the extra zero. That's a punctuation error. But it's from July to December. If they got this bill done in June, and if they got that out the door. The only thing they have not told us is the monthly checks. They're talking about, word on the streets, they're talking about $1,400 or $2,000 a month. But look at this. This is huge. $8,400, $12,000. You know, it's so important to understand the push of the purple power. What is purple power, and why is the push so important right now? Purple power refers to the community of this channel. And it was not, this channel has always had the same spirit. It wasn't called Purple Power initially. I was wearing a lot of purple shirts, and people said, Mr. Purple, you're Mr. Purple. They referred to me as Purple and Mr. Purple. And I said, well, you have the power. You need to push Purple Power. And that's how it started. And throughout later today on Afternoons LA, as I asked, and you're so getting, I'm bringing back the original 3 videos of Sirloin. Yes, when Sirloin was introduced to the viewers of this channel, as Sirloin got his stimulus before the Purple Power, and I confronted Sirloin at the casino. I said, who are you, and what are you doing? Well, guess what? I'm bringing back those 3 videos as you have asked. The first one will be on Afternoons LA. It will have Sirloin in the title. And then there'll be 2 at 10 o'clock and 10:30 Eastern Standard Time tonight. Sirloin Part 2 and Sirloin Part 3. They're about rent, purple power, and pushing. What's important for you to understand is you need to push. You absolutely need to push, because guess what? This is the time and place. You're going to see in these 3 videos, starting in just a second, that these cabinet members want to hear from you. And as one of the volunteers said, you know what, I reached out to Mayor Pete, and I said, you know, you got to get this done. Here's what you need to know is they want to hear from you. They want to hear from you, and they want to hear right away. In the next 10 days to 2 weeks, but I think it's even less than 10 days, they're hearing from both sides. And why are they doing this? Because they're trying to size up if there's any possibility for bipartisanship. There isn't. And after that, the bill is ready to go. What's important to understand is this is a critical moment. Here's how it's so critical. You're sitting here and you're looking at the opportunity for a massive stimulus payoff. But then on the other side, what's happening is there's a president who's thinking about doing it by partisanship, which is never going to happen. And bipartisanship doesn't give you a single stimulus check. You also have a looming economy, which is suddenly starting to rebound, which could work against you if the bill takes too long to get to the Senate. So suddenly you have to really push now. This is the opportunity to push right now, because this is the single biggest payday. And guess what? You're not pushing in a vacuum. We've pushed in vacuums before, where we're trying to push for something that no one else is doing. This time you got 21 of 50 Democratic senators who want to give you this. And we got about a couple hundred Democratic House members who want to give this to you. What is this? Monthly stimulus checks. Monthly stimulus checks at the end of this year. A very nice super chat from Amanda. Hey, I checked the IRS tool and I got a date for direct deposit for VA on April 14th. Wow. The vets are getting paid this week. You called it. Thank you for all you do. Okay, so this is breaking details right now. If you are a vet and have not gotten your stimulus check, I had said that next week is a March 14th date. So this is breaking news happening right now. Let me cut into where I was going with this video and show you this graphic in light of the incredible help from Amanda. I had asked viewers since yesterday that to watch the IRS tool and see if there are new pending deposits for next week that were not pending there before. And I had not received any DMs or private messages, so I assumed there was nothing newly happening. To recap, over the first, second, and third waves, my vets have been getting stimulus checks. My veteran viewers have been getting stimulus checks. But I wondered about other viewers who hadn't gotten stimulus checks. I also wondered about if there were any vets that had not gotten stimulus checks. I even had veterans who got stimulus checks last week, the week of April 7th by direct deposit. But I tried to get a sense of who has not gotten a stimulus check. I've seen about 3 or 4 viewers in the live chat. I recognize 3 right in there right now that have not gotten that stimulus check, the third stimulus check. So we know that stimulus always goes out on Friday, and today would be the day, if it went out yesterday, that the tool would update itself, Saturday. So if you're a viewer and the IRS tool is just updating itself today for yourself, please drop in the comments and tag me, LALATE, if you're in the live chat so I see it. Like Amanda, whose comment says, I just checked the IRS tool and got a date today, just today, for direct deposit of April 14th. The vets are getting paid this week. You called it 100%, 100%. Thank you for all you do. I really appreciate this. This is a very big, jaw-dropping, breaking development happening right now. Has anyone else gotten a new alert for April 14th that just happened? Mohammed, thank you, saying a nice shout out. So I don't see anyone else at the moment, but please watch that IRS tool and see if it is pending. All right, now let's go back to what's happening with forced stimulus. What's happening with forced stimulus is that they want to hear from you, and the opportunity here is now. Let's listen into some of the videos that happened this week. We had Mayor Pete, we had Energy, and we had Commerce all talking about forced stimulus. Let's listen and hear what they each had to say in part about that stimulus package. Here's Mayor Pete.
Not asking us to tinker around the edges. We've risen to this challenge before as a country. In fact, building bold infrastructure has always been central to America's story. We built the Erie Canal, we connected east to west through the Transcontinental Railroad, and we developed the interstate highway system. And each of those projects was audacious, was transformative, and partly because it challenged the American people to expand our concept of infrastructure. But in doing so, these projects transformed our nation for the better, and they fueled the U.S. economy and way of life for the long run. So now it's our turn. The American Jobs Plan will again transform America's roads and bridges, rail and transit, ports and airports for the better. It's going to help modernize our transportation infrastructure so we can compete in the 21st century and connect communities. It will create millions of good jobs in communities across the country. I want to point out again that this is the biggest investment in American jobs since World War II.
And then your Energy Secretary spoke about the program as well. Let's listen to her comments on energy.
He does want to hear from Democrats and Republicans about what would be acceptable to get this across the line. So there is room for negotiation. His point is that it has to be paid for. And so if it's not a 28%, what else is it? And we're very encouraged by those who have been bringing ideas forth. And we are hopeful that, especially when Congress gets back next week, that those discussions can begin in earnest.
And then finally, your Commerce Secretary, she spoke. Let's hear what she had to say during her exchange with press this week.
And over the years, there is something that we all seem to agree on, which is that we need to make massive investments in our infrastructure if we are going to compete and ensure America's global competitiveness. And most recently, I have spent a lot of time in the past few weeks talking to business leaders, and I can report to you that there's a broad level of enthusiasm for big investments in infrastructure. And I think there is a recognition that President Biden is doing the right thing in pushing us to conceive of infrastructure as broad, as including investments in STEM, research and development, investments in basic research, investments in broadband, investments in training our workforce. And the truth of it is, that's what it's going to take to compete. A key component of the American Jobs Plan is training our workforce. This is a reality. The changes in the American economy, many of which have been massively accelerated by COVID, are very scary for millions of Americans.
And there is one of not less than 4 cabinet members who were introduced this week during press conferences to talk about your 4th stimulus check and 4th stimulus package. Here's what you need to know, is that there is a mixed bag of economic news that is really good, like these Tom Kimball comments today that says this economy isn't coming back. It's back. And comments like, I'll tell you that this is the most optimistic market I've seen in ages. And that Jamie Dimon's right, this economy is going to be on steroids for the rest of this year. There's that type of news. And then there's this type of news. This type of news that came in on Friday, which showed that small businesses continue to close, medium-sized business continue to close. 22% of businesses in February shut their doors across the country that were small to medium business. Can you imagine? 22% of small to medium-sized business shut their doors in the month of February, the worst number which we've seen since May. A bad number. Bad number, good number. We keep on seeing that across the board in a week in which 20% of the U.S. population was fully vaccinated and 34% have 1 dose. The week also came off of an incredible jobs report number that was absolutely through the roof. It was incredibly great news, and then very bad unemployment news. On Thursday, the unemployment claims came in at 744. This is people newly on unemployment claims. It showed a massive rise while Wall Street expected a drop. Wall Street expected a drop to 694. The prior week was 728. It actually rose, didn't drop. And in fact, it was worse than the week before. Wall Street got it wrong by 50,000 across the board. Imagine how wrong they were. Really surprising. Really surprising. And meantime, if you look at the continuing jobless claims, 3.73 million people unemployed from the prior week. These are the 2 major numbers that determine your stimulus across the board. It's important to understand that when you look at this data, we are dealing with data which is driving your stimulus. Those Democratic senators, those Democratic House members wrote letters in January, February, and March. Well, this is April. We're good so far. July, borderline trouble. August, really looking for trouble. December, goodbye. What if someone wrote a bill in December this year asking for stimulus checks? Oh my goodness. Yeah, right. Not going to happen. By December, the economy is going to be fully restored. Why? Last month, we saw the new jobless numbers, new job creations numbers. 1 million jobs created in the month of January. In the month of March. 1 million jobs created in the month of March. There's 8 million missing. That means in 8 months, we'll be fully restored this economy. All the jobs will be back. 8 months is the December. But why would we worry about a bill landing in the Senate in July, LALATE? What's the problem with that? The problem is that Wall Street analysts think that the job numbers are going to surge even higher. They think, a new report last Friday, not yesterday, but a week before, said that they expect 2 million jobs created this month. 2 million jobs when 8 million are missing is 4 months, means we would be back to full employment in 4 months. That's why you want this bill in the Senate as soon as possible. You want the bill there now when there are 8 million jobs missing, not when the 8 million jobs are restored. You want the bill in the Senate now when there's 700,000 new unemployment claims every week, not when there's 200,000 new unemployment claims, which was where we were pre-pandemic. You want the bill in the Senate now when the economic numbers still manifest bad numbers for unemployment and jobs, because ultimately, you know, and I know that the numbers are heading towards a good situation, and you don't want them to reach that situation before they have that bill done. So how quickly could I have the bill done? Someone dropped in one of the comments before, and you have questions as well, dropping them in the live chat. I'm watching your comments. Someone said, can they get this done in June? Yes. It generally takes about 2 months to do a reconciliation. So this is April, May, June. Absolutely. They could get this bill done in June. And they need to get the bill done in June. Why? Because if you look at that calendar, July is a hot mess. If you're with me in July last summer, what happened with July? They went on vacation. I had all those vacation jokes. Remember the feet in the jacuzzi with the Mitch singing, holding the Mai Tai and singing karaoke? Yeah, all those jokes of the summer. They go on vacation every 10 seconds between July and December and September. They hardly work. And if they're hardly working, you don't want them to leave and then do stimulus in September, October, and then you get 2 stimulus checks in November, December. No, you don't want 2 stimulus checks in November, December. You want this bill out the door before they leave. Remember what happened last July? I haven't detailed this for, almost 3 months. Remember what happened last July? FPUC expired. UI, PUA, all those things expired. Remember what happened last July? Even student loan, even a lot of the moratoriums expired. They left, they got up, and they left, these congressional leaders. Do not be surprised they get up and leave you again. So don't let them do that. Get this bill to the Senate floor and into law a month before they go on vacation, because these senators simply, they'll just get up and leave. They got up and left before, they could do it again. So what do you need to know? It's a 2-step process, and the first step is to send the bill to the House floor to approve a reconciliation, then to the Senate to agree upon a reconciliation, and then the President signs it into law. That's only step 1. That's only the tow truck going over the finish line. Then the tow truck has to put go back and put the tow hitch on it. What's the tow hitch? It's the stimulus. It's the items that are in the 4th stimulus package. Go to the House floor, approve it, then to the Senate, and that is when the bill becomes a stimulus bill. What's important to understand is that over the first process, you're only hearing procedural things. Over the second process through the House, you're likely not to hear about stimulus checks unless House members put it in there, which they could. They certainly have a standalone bill. But it's not until the bill gets to the Senate for that vote-a-rama that they start to put that stimulus in there. The path is the reconciliation path, and the stimulus does not appear until the vote-a-rama. That's when they would put it in there. So you have to understand, this is not next week. This is not a month from now. This is literally 2 months from now. So you have to get this moving right away. This is what I have to say to you. They got to go from House to Senate to President to do first step. Okay, that takes quite a long time. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then they got to come back, and then they got to do the step 2, House and Senate. Well, what's the economy going to be by then? You want this happen right away. If you have questions or comments, drop them in the comments. I love to interact with you. I'm going to jump into the live chat in just a second. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. You want to know that there's money available for rent, utilities, and food available right now, and you don't want to miss it. It's third stimulus, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. Here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LALATE. How are you? It's a big day across the board, and I'm so excited for you. If you're one of those people who never got the first stimulus check, never got the second stimulus check, and you're wondering where the third one is, I can't really help you. The IRS has made very clear, if you have not told them how to fix the first and second stimulus check, you're going to have a problem with the third. There's nothing else I can say. There were guidance that I went over on this channel about how to fix that missing first and second stimulus check. And guess what? Until you fix it, you're never going to get stimulus checks. So you need to follow the guidance of IRS, which I've detailed on the channel, to ensure you get that first and second. If you don't get that first and second, you're not going to get future stimulus checks. I've been seeing people saying, I never got first and second. What about third? What about fourth? I never filed taxes for 20 years. I never did this for 35 years. Guess what? You don't fix things, you don't get stimulus checks. So away we go. We're going to force stimulus at this point. It's important to understand that under forced stimulus, there's a push underway right now. And that push underway is happening from those Democratic senators and House members. Democratic House members could put the forced stimulus, multiple stimulus checks in there. They could also do it as a standalone bill. Is it likely to work as a standalone bill? I really don't know just yet. But let's look at what Democratic House members wanted you to do. Here's one of them. She wants you to have multiple stimulus checks. In fact, she wants them monthly. In fact, she wants them going out every month. And Tlaib and Jalapal introduced that standalone bill just a few weeks ago, March 23rd approximately, to have those monthly stimulus checks. Let's look at it right now. Her legislation, which was a standalone bill, would provide $2,000 the first month and then $1,000 every month throughout the ongoing pandemic until 1 year after the pandemic going forward. And that would continue people to the end of the year, to the end of the pandemic and a year beyond. It's important to understand that unless one thinks that people are going to get stimulus checks a year after, it's not going to happen that way. She wants to pay stimulus checks into a year after the pandemic's over. That's not going to happen. But at least her mindset to do those monthly stimulus checks is not alone. There's over 100 Democratic House members that want to give a stimulus check every month. That's good. So would they put that in the bill when it lands there in step 2? The tow hitch. They might. So who should you push for? Who should you push? When should you push? And what should the message be? The message should be to push Democratic House members and Democratic senators to do that multiple stimulus checks. This is what the messaging should include. 1, the Republicans don't want to give you a stimulus check. The Republicans don't even want to do the bill. Why? Because they don't want to do climate. The president says he has to have climate in there, and with no climate, it's not sufficient. Republicans say we're not doing any climate. So hence, you have to do reconciliation. The message should be, don't wait around, get this to reconciliation, because the Republicans don't want to do climate. And they also don't want to do stimulus checks. Then also the push be very clear. We need to do this now because it takes 2 months to do it. And that the Senate and the House go on vacation in July. You don't want to wait to July so that the 11th hour ticks around the clock and you miss this being finished. And suddenly we're looking at September, October. No, you want this to happen right away. The other thing that's important to note, and that's why I detailed it in this video, is that it's too hard to tell how this economy is going. It's too hard to tell how this economy is going. Paula says, hi everyone, has everyone else had their unemployment ended in March? No, unemployment did not end in March. There is a lot of confusion across the board where some states are asking you to reapply or reopen your file. I've gotten a lot of comments on social media. It's a strange series of exchanges. Sometimes they say it and then a day or two later, they don't say it. They sort of revert. Your unemployment is extended currently to September. So if you went out on unemployment around February or March when this pandemic started, or anytime later after that, your PUA, FPUC, PUC are extended all the way to September currently under the law. They are not ended. But some states are requiring you to reapply. Thank you for that question. Oh, Darlene says, Elliot, I received my PPP because of your pushing for us to prepare our documents in early February so we could really pounce when we got our floodgates open. Congratulations, Darlene. PPP is among the programs which you can get right now. People have been asking me to recap certain things for businesses, and I haven't lately. So let me recap it again right now. First, you can get a PPP grant. The President of the United States, by executive order last Friday, I think it was, he signed an executive order extending the PPP program. So you can get a PPP grant right now. Remember, it's a Schedule C you have to get one. Number two, the EIDL grant of $5,000 has not yet gone live. It is very peculiar. I almost said something I was saying. It's very non-compliant at the moment. It has not gone live. Next, the shuttered venue grant, which is not just for venues, and it's not for shutters. It's also for drapes, is on sba.gov in preview mode now, which you can give your email address to get a copy of the application when it goes live. And then third, the restaurant grant is about to go live on sba.gov. Every now and then people ask me, is there a grant to go open a new business? Nope. Biden said he was going to give it to you. He didn't give it to you. So there is no grant to go start a new business, at least from the federal government. There's always something like that on a local level, but I don't cover that here on this channel. Will there be one in the fourth stimulus package? No, highly unlikely. There is a sort of narrative that this president wants to run, which is that the prior administration gave a lot of business grants and that this administration is not. I don't agree with that concept, and I certainly don't agree with that concept because the president should look at this data. This data shows horrible lack of relief going to small businesses. The problem with the EIDL grant currently is it's not going out, and it may not go out in the way it's supposed to go out, and this is impacting small businesses. 22% of small and medium businesses closed in the month of February in the United States. I mean, that's a horrible number. Those are businesses gone, and the president is not doing anything to fix that situation, for at least for them. I've always had a yard sale. How do I qualify for a PPP? I love that. Someone says, I have a yard sale. Can I get a PPP? I have a lemonade stand. Can I get a PPP? If you have a Schedule C for that yard sale, yes, you can. Something just cracked me up. So there you go. I make $12 ice cream at home, and I give it out at the casino on the street in my little truck I have outside. Can I get a PPP? Yeah, if you do a Schedule C for that $12 ice cream outside the casino, of course you can. So let's cut back to the deliciousness of this money. Here is what you need to know. And this message I haven't really delivered on this channel yet in this tone. So let me deliver it right now. There have been times and places in which there's been money for different issues that we have pushed for, but we've never seen an event like this one, where 21 of 50 Democrats want to give you this enormous payday, where over 100 House Democrats want to give you this enormous payday, where this payday qualifies for all of you. I've never seen a day where the payday includes all of you. No one is excluded that's watching this video unless you make over $75,000, single individual, $150,000 married couple. You're not excluded if you're adult dependent. You're not excluded if you're on SSI or SSDI or veterans. You're not excluded if you're a child. You're all included. And suddenly they wanted to give you this. This is where you need to be pushing. How do I say it? I sometimes want to take the pen and just go like, this every time that someone says, but what about the SSI at $2,400? I want to go, Really? And someone wants to give you $12,000 and you're asking me, what about the $2,000? Sometimes I hear it. Really? I don't. And then someone will say, well, what about that other thing? I'm like, we're on $12,000 here, folks. What do you, don't go don't go out to left field and start picking petunias in the garden. We are here on the point of where people want to give you thousands of dollars and someone wants to talk about some other little thing somewhere else. Now, we as a family will fight for everything, but this is where the big moolah suddenly has manifested itself. And the time frame is upon us. The time frame is right now. This is very similar to CR for stimulus. Remember CR for stimulus in December of last year, where we were approaching Christmas. We didn't have a stimulus check. Nothing was happening. I said, you gotta push these people, these lazy congressional leaders, and get that stimulus and the CR. You gotta do it now. We only got a couple days. You gotta push right now. You pushed and you got it. The push is happening right now again. You need to take these videos, share them on social media, tag the House members, tag the House senators who are House senators, the Democratic senators, the Democratic House members. Tag the people you've seen in these videos, these cabinet members, whether it is commerce or energy or transportation. Call them up, contact their staffers. They don't have big, enormous staffers that are getting 5 million phone calls a day. They'd love to hear from you. Give them your professional opinion of the situation. Be respectful and professional and push, because now is the opportunity to push. It's important to understand that these Democrats, whether it's Wyden or Sanders or Warren, whose picture I have in here somewhere. Yeah, there she is. They want our 21 of 50 Democrats who want to give you something, but you got to get that bill to them. You got to get that bill to them. And now is the time to push. Now is not the time to talk about something else on some other planet that is small, 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 and not being talked by these people. This is what these people want to give you, and now is the opportunity to pounce, Purple Hawks. Pounce and push, push, push. With that, let me jump in one last time into the live chat and live comments. If you have any other questions or comments you have, drop anything you have questions about, whether it is third stimulus or fourth stimulus. We want the most moolah, says Jenny. Absolutely. Can all of us single parents or parents in general, at least going to college, brighter future, can we all get additional stimulus checks? Yes. So let's go back. That's from Stephanie Payne. Great question, Stephanie. So let me go back to the eligibility. The eligibility as proposed by those Democratic senators is the following. Who gets a stimulus check? If you make less than $75,000 individual. Or married couple, $150,000. Household, 4 or less, SSI and SSDI, Social Security and railroad benefits. Absolutely. IRS rule on the $10,200 it filed, IRS on hazard pay, or anyone else. Debbie, so the $10,200, there actually is a new statement out today, Debbie, about that $10,200. Let me answer that question. It's a really good question. So there are 3 scenarios for unemployment. You file the tax return already, 2020, and you pay taxes on your first $10,200. What do you do then? IRS is sending refunds to you automatically in the month of May. You don't have to do anything. But also under that first scenario, some tax preparers cited on a major broadcast channel say you could still do an amended return and tell IRS how much you think you're entitled back, because if you think you're concerned that they may miscalculate it. That's an opinion. That's something you have to decide. It costs money to get an accountant to do things. So, do you want to spend the money to get a check back? It's up to you. Second scenario, you haven't filed the tax return and you didn't take out for taxes when you got your unemployment week to week last year. What do? You can go ahead and prepare that tax return. It's due in May. And remember, the first $10,200 is tax-free. Number 3, you have not prepared the tax return, but you did take out for taxes in 2020, and you're about to prepare the tax return. What do? There's a new advisory out today that says that IRS may not give any other updates about the subject matter. Just get ready to calculate out how to take that credit back on the return. An example of this is something like, let's say you paid $2,000 in taxes on that unemployment that you should not have, or you took out for taxes of $2,000, federal taxes, and that you should not have. You're going to have to account for that difference on the tax return. Remember, I'm not a tax preparer. I can't get tax advice. That's my disclaimer. But that's where the current advisory is. For hazard pay is on the 2020 return as an earned income tax credit if you're an essential worker, 19 years or older, and made less than $25,000. Any other questions? That was a great set of questions. Let's see. Third stimulus package for rent and mortgages, most likely. So, Carrie, that's a great question. So, if you are looking for any of the big moolah under third stimulus, that is now landing. The rent, the utilities is available currently in your city, county, and state. Here's the graphic on that one. The rent utilities is currently available now in the month of April in your city, county, and state. You want to reach out to each of them separately because they may have different guidance. One may be stricter than the other on who can get the money. Again, city, county, and state. Property owners, also, the mortgage assistance is available, city, county, and state. Also, utility assistance and homeowners assistance. Great questions. And then those business items, which I detailed earlier in this video, are about to go live in the next few days. As we go into the final minutes of this recording, let me tell you what's happening at the Masters. Justin Rose is still holding a lead, but boy, we started this video with Justin Rose with a 3-stroke lead, and his lead is now cut to 1 stroke. Justin Rose is currently 7 under through the tournament, but he's even today through the 5th. The reason why is Mark Leishman is on fire. He's moved up 2 spots to now 6 under overall. He's 1 under through the 6th. Also making big moves are Corey Connors, who's up 9. He is 3 under today through the 11th, and he's 2 strokes off the lead. The whole rest of the field remains very close. If I look at the field, there's currently 9 golfers or 8 golfers who are less than 3 strokes off the lead. The big surprise is Jordan Spieth. Many thought that he was a contention to win. Jordan Spieth is falling apart today. Through the 7th today, he is 2 over. He is falling back 6. He is now 4 strokes off the lead. He is currently falling from 3rd position down to 10th. I'll have the latest details for you as Afternoons LA continues. We'll see if 3rd round action is complete by then. Meantime, join me with 3 special sirloin shows today. There will be one on Afternoons LA, the introduction of sirloin from September of last year. It's a throwback video. It's funny. And then at 10 o'clock and 10:30 show tonight, sirloin 2 and sirloin 3. The 2nd and 3rd introductions of sirloin. He originally had no name. He was just that guy that tried to push his way to the bar when I'm having my $12 ice cream. Ricardo, thank you, Ricardo Camino, for becoming a Purple Power. Welcome. Welcome, and everyone welcome Ricardo to the family. And so join me for the introduction, the throwback introduction to Sirloin back from September of last year. That's coming up this afternoon. You'll see it in the title where it says Sirloin. Meantime, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. It's our 1-year anniversary at the end of this month as this channel turns 1 year old. Let's get to 400,000 subscribers. We're about, I think, 6,000 away at the moment. So let's do it. And if you've not become a member or a Purple Power or a Purple Hawk like Ricardo, then consider that as well. Can you show the throwbacks of Jovita? Yes, I'm going to bring back a Jovita block as well and a Blaine 66 block. That'll be coming back as well because apparently you're loving it. I liked it too. I was like, okay. I forgot how he came to introduce himself to me. So with that, stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling. Don't eat too much $12 ice cream, and don't have a cow negotiator push you around either. Stay with LA for more.